Hi everyone. In yet another interview of our new segment, Learn How to Become a Memory Champion. Today we have on our show Ms Meghna Singhi. Meghna is fifth ranked in World Memory Championship, which held in 2021, December 2021, where she stood second rank in her category, that is adult category. And she is also ranked seventh in National Memory Championships. She is also a participant in Memory League season 14, which is currently going on. She's actually participating in that season 14. Other than this, she is a banker with experience in banks like ICICI and HDFC banks. About her education, she had done her B Chemical, that is, she is an engineering graduate from Nirma University, and she has did her MBA HR from Symbiosis Pune. Not only this, she is a memory trainer and has successfully trained many students till date. She is a musical Windows master trainer, certificate holder, and she is holding highest accreditation by the inventor himself. Inventor himself has given her that certificate, and the name of the inventor is Mr. Vikrant and Chafekar. List doesn't end here. She is also a mom of 2 kids, and her family is her biggest support system. Can you believe how many roles an Indian woman plays? And she is the epitome of a perfect Indian woman who not only takes care of her brain by participating, teaching, and continuously acquiring knowledge, but also take care of her 2 lovely kids whom you can find supporting her in all the offline competitions she takes part. So I am very much excited about this interview. So let's welcome the Wonder Woman, Ms Meghna Singhi, on the show. Meghna, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dikshit. It's indeed my honor or my privilege to be on this show with you. And being in a field of memory wherein stalwarts like you are there, I'm just a beginner here, but yeah, making my footsteps.
Yes, everybody is a beginner only. And I know I cannot reach to your level. I cannot manage 2 kids as well as everything in the memory field going places. It's a too difficult thing. Then also, I hope I'm going to ask you some very simple questions, which I think are very simple questions. And that is definitely going to motivate a lot of people to come to this field. So with your permission, can I start with my question answers?
Yes, please, let's go on.
Okay, thank you. So, very first question, I told you is a simpler one. Can you tell us little about yourself, what you do in your life? I have tried to cover, but then there'll be something which I wouldn't have been covered. Yeah, tell me.
Right. Okay. So I was born in a small town called Kuch Bihar in West Bengal, where I did my primary education. And for my further schooling, we had relocated to Surat, which is in Gujarat. So I belong to Gujarat basically. Okay. And my higher education, that is my BE, I completed it in Ahmedabad, Nirma University. Post which my MBA, I did post-marriage through the Symbiosis Institute of Technology. And since I was located in Delhi then, not many chemical industries were around. So I thought of switching to banking, which was easily a profession accessible to women maybe. Yes. Right. So yes. I switched to banking for that sake and worked with leading banks like ICICI and HDFC. And then family had to take a break from the career because we were in a nuclear family, my husband and me. So somebody had to stay back at home for the kids. And that was a decision made by choice. I did not want to miss my kids' childhood for anything. I wanted to give my whole attention to them. So, okay, I took a break from my career. But in this meanwhile, I kept updating myself. I ventured into different fields like stock market became my passion suddenly. And then, I went on to become a German master trainer kind of a thing. I learned a new language for myself, and I kept on doing some other things. And then now I am here in the field of memory, and I feel that this is my calling. This was my karma, my destiny somewhere to land on this field and make my progress in this field. So today here I am.
Great. So a chemical graduate, then you did some work in bankings also. Then you did something in stock markets. Trained German as a language, and now you are a memory trainer. How many roles? Yes. Great to know that.
Thank you.
Yes. So, how did you get interested in memory techniques? Because there will be some starting point, some spark would have came from somewhere. Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah, it actually started with, my kids, because being a parent, you're always worried that, how will my kids cope up with this competitive world? Is there a way where I can, make education easier for them, fun for them? And, all these things in mind, I was going through Facebook and I came across an ad which stated, want to multiply your memory by 3 times, or, want to retain more information in a shorter span of time, want to make learning fun, which parent would not like to? And I clicked on it and registered on it. And that was, I think, perhaps the best decision I could have taken, because there I met a man who has been not only my trainer, my inspiration, and a man I look up to for everything, Mr. Amrut Jadhav.
Okay.
Everybody in the field of memory knows him.
Right.
And what started as a 4-day training session for my kids interested me more than the kids. I was, sitting with them for all those sessions. And then when we went to the championship batches, and I went ahead to join him for the train the trainer course, and the association is yet going on. It has never ended.
Right.
But Amrut sir has, actually influenced me, inspired me to such great extent that I could understand the value of this field, this sport, and I could take it further. And I could really, feel connected to it. So I give the full credit to Amrut sir that I am in this field today where I am. Yes, he's the man behind it.
Yes, Amrut Jadhav sir is a magnet. If somebody goes to him, he'll definitely get attracted. So
yeah, you cannot, you don't want him to stop talking. You want him to go on and on. He has so much wisdom, so much knowledge to impart that, you feel like gathering everything he has. Yes.
Right. And you actually landed up, you tried it for your kids, but then things has motivated or fascinated you too much, then you have landed up being a trainer.
Yes.
Great. So I saw you have a great skill for memorizing random numbers, names and faces. I've seen you memorizing names and faces a lot.
Yes.
So how do you manage to do that? So many names and faces together. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, names and faces. One, something which has helped me a lot in names and faces is I am a multilingual person. I like learning many languages.
Okay.
So, not only foreign languages, many regional languages of India also I know. And that is why I've come across many different names. And also I'm an ardent sports follower, like cricket and FIFA are my favorite events. And I know, so many players' names of different nationalities. That has helped me, enrich my vocabulary in names somehow.
Right.
And whenever I see some movie or foreign language, I keep a keen observation on the names which come in the beginning or the end.
Okay.
So when you come across so many names, it becomes easier for you to recall those names. When a similar name comes, you can relate it somewhere.
Right.
So names and faces, I think being a multilingual has helped me a lot in that. And for coming to numbers, I use a wonderful system called musical windows, which I don't know it's more prevalent outside India yet or not. But yeah, if anybody who learns the crux of the system, the basics of the system, will never plan to switch to any other system ever. This is one of the most wonderfully designed system created by by Mr. Vikrant and Shafikar. He has done an indigenous job doing it, and I'm really grateful to him. I really want to bow down to him and thank him for doing this for us.
Good one. So you have means maybe you are interested to become a polyglot also. You like different languages also, isn't it?
Yes. I love languages. That is my first passion and love kind of thing. Yes.
Okay. So that actually have brought you more into names and faces, and you understand that.
Yes. Right.
Great. So what's your technique for memorizing deck of cards and numbers? Because there's an event called you have to memorize maybe 3 deck of cards or 4 deck of cards, and there are different disciplines to memorize different numbers. So what is your method? Yeah.
So for deck of cards earlier, I was using only the object system, but I found that it was restricting my timing a lot. I was not able to improve on my timing. After which I switched to POA system using musical windows only, which is person, object, and action. And that has helped me really, improve on my timings. So this is the method I use for cards and numbers. As I told, for now I'm using PO system, which is person and object, but I am in work on changing my system because musical windows is a very expandable format. So it has columns like J, S, S, P, which is like person, like female person, female object, male person, male object, and a place. So you can actually memorize, 10 digits at a single location using these 5 columns.
Great.
So that is the beauty of the system. So I'm planning to switch over to that instead of only PO. I'm planning to apply all these 5 columns to that to improve my productivity.
So if you have to memorize a whole maybe mobile number, you may not have to use other system. You can use one single system. You're able to memorize all 10 digits.
Correct. Rather, same happens in binary. Binary, if you've seen in the championships, there are 30 digits in a row. Right. So all those 30 digits require only one location. Using this J, S, S, P method, all 5 of these columns cover the entire row at once.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you will have to, you'll save a lot on your locations and journey points, and you can do it faster that way.
Right.
So
Right.
it's an easier method, yes.
Good one. Good one. So a lot of people don't really see the practical value of memorization. What real value does it offer? What has changed in you when you started memorizing a lot of things? Yes.
We all live in a misconception that memory is only required for students or children.
Right.
We focus on them more, but don't we all require memory in our routine day-to-day life? Right from,
Yes.
simple things like PIN number, telephone numbers, dates, important
Addresses,
information, anything. Yeah. All of this requires memory somewhere.
Right.
And we ignore that aspect. We do not work on our mental health or brain health more.
Mhm.
And this is something, the awareness needs to be created that, there are techniques, there are ways to improvise on your memory. And a brain which stays active for longer time ages slower, the
Right.
person's age, mental age, it goes in a slower rate. So why not, use these techniques, use the benefits of it in our day-to-day life, in our everyday
Right.
life. And I have seen this difference, not only in my kids, but also in me.
Right.
My memorizing capability, my observation skills, my concentration, my focus, everything has improved drastically. I mean, I can see a vast change in them. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you have become certain in many things which earlier you may not be.
Exactly. And it gives a different level of confidence to you also,
Right.
as your mental capability improves, the confidence levels also improve there. Yes.
Yes. Great. Great. So how do you think memory techniques could be beneficial for students? Because you are teaching many students. So how it could be beneficial for them? Yes.
See, in today's era where there is information overload everywhere, there is so
Right.
much information available. If we stick to our old rote memorization method,
Mhm.
the amount of information we can register in our minds will be quite lesser because the time is limited. We have 24 hours in a day only. That will not change. What has to change is our learning capacity and the retention capacity.
Right.
Abhi seekh liya, only we have learned and we forget it.
Yes.
If we learn only with the purpose of remembering it till the examination and we forget it the next day, what is the use of it? Does that knowledge give us something? No.
Yes.
So to retain that for a longer time and see it's actually how that knowledge is beneficial to us, these memory techniques are necessary. And what if they are introduced at the very basic level? When you start learning, when a kid starts learning, if from then they are exposed to these techniques, they will make it a habit. It will become a second routine to them. So it's always beneficial to kids, yes, in their education. I've seen the improvement in my kids. Before this, their concentration span was very less. And they, used to, memorization was something they used to hate, sitting for studies for long hours and things. And now I see the improvement. Like yesterday, it was the English Olympiad results were announced, and my son came first in international platform. I mean, he was the first in the whole world in English Olympiad.
Great.
I can see these
Congratulations.
improvements.
Congratulations.
Thank you. They won the national spell bee. Both my kids won the national spell bee last year. So there were so many improvements I could see in them. So yes, it does help, and I would urge all parents to make learning easier for your kids. Adopt these techniques, expose them to these techniques, and let them work it for them. You can see the difference in your kids.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it's working for you also, and it's working for your kids also.
It is.
You're managing
truly.
it quite well. Good.
Yes.
Yes. So this brings me to how do you think that it could be useful to teach memory techniques at schools and universities, and how would you imagine that once it has been started, it has been introduced in schools and universities, how the whole scenario will look like? Yes.
I think that is the perfect way to go ahead. That if it is made compulsory at schools, people see it as a subject more or a part of curriculum more, they will adopt to it. If we give them an option that you can learn memory techniques, many of them will shy away from the idea, maybe because they do not know, they are ignorant of the whole prospect of this memory field. So to make them more aware, introducing it at a school level is the most important thing, the first step which we have to take. And once introduced, it can be we can make it as once a week thing, that once a week we teach them something new and we tell them to practice it and see if it's helping in the studies. If it is not, we can give them, there are many techniques are out there, so we can give them alternate techniques. We can help them with their curriculum, that how their curriculum can be simplified using these techniques. So school level is the best to start. I yet agree. Yes.
Okay.
And that is my vision, coming to this field, that I can spread this to maximum people, and that can only happen if this is introduced at school levels. Yes.
Great. It will happen. Maybe it will take some time, but it will definitely.
Yeah, with people like you in the field, I'm sure it's gonna happen soon.
Yes. We will make it happen. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
So you train your memory for a quite bit of time. So how often do you train on a daily basis? How often do you train your memory? And do you train it before events only, or you keep training every time on every day basis? How is it?
I believe consistency is the key. If you can do it every day, nothing like it. Okay, being a parent, also being a homemaker and a memory coach, and so many responsibilities, I might not be able to dedicate as much time I want to, but yet I make sure that 45 minutes to 1 hour of my time every day goes to this training on myself. I mean, I work on myself. And this is what I would, suggest to everybody, that do not wait for events. They might come suddenly. Like World Championship, it was announced a month prior only. And then, you suddenly go into a panic mode that how will I prepare myself? And that confidence level goes low. But instead, if you practice daily, you will always be prepared for any event which comes up suddenly also. So I believe that consistency is the key. Keep practicing regularly and you will make through it. Yes.
Yeah. Keep your arms ready. If the fight comes, you're always ready.
Fight comes anytime.
Yes. Great. So do you believe you have a talent, or is it all training? Means some talent is there. Have you tested it before? How is it? Yeah.
See, as they say about memory, 20% is genetics. So I can believe that 20% talent might be there, but that 80% I believe is sheer training, because there's nothing like, a good mind or a bad mind, or a good memory and bad memory. It's always trained and untrained memory. So only what I have been trying is to put that untrained memory to a trained platform, train myself, train others, make them realize the importance of these techniques, how they can make things simpler for you. And yes, it is training. 80% of it, yes.
80% is training. So you need to train, then only you can improve yourself. It's not something like that.
And then only you can realize for yourself that what difference it can make. Until you do it and you experiment it, you will never realize the importance of it. Yes.
Right. Great. So what is your favorite memory from this sport? I mean, you are doing it from quite a time. So you do have many memories. So any particular memory you want to share with us?
I think the World Championship, that was a life-changing moment for me. It was my first World Championship, yes. And, it transported me from this current state to my childhood, where exam kaisa gaya, kitne marks aayenge, how much time is left. Those same memories of school and college came cropping by. So that was one of my fondest memories. Also, sharing the stage with people like Jessima sir, Amrut sir, and they telling me that, yes, we are proud of you. You are an inspiration for women out there. It was a big compliment. And my family cheering for me there. And all the female arbiters. This is what I noticed particularly when I was going on the stage. All the female arbiters were so happy. They could identify themselves in me, maybe. So yes, these were all, my fondest memories of this championship. Yes.
And definitely you, as I said, you are an epitome of a perfect Indian woman. So that is there. People look for you, means they're looking that I'm going to be like Meghna one day.
I'm happy I can inspire. Yes.
Great. So you are the most successful female memory athlete, which I can see as of now. But there are mostly men competing at memory championship. So do you have any idea why only men are there, and how can you attract more women? What are your idea to bring more women to this field?
What I believe is, when we step into the world of responsibilities, family life or something, we, build a barrier around us that this is our world, and stepping out of this is not possible for us. We do not have time for these things. But if you cannot make time for yourself, you will always stay where you are. You cannot imagine a step forward. There are successful athletes like, Cathy Conwode has been my inspiration. I mean, she is doing phenomenal in the world of memory, of course. And there are many other women athletes who are doing good. But, the sport is just picking up its pace. It is not that prevalent now. It is not that widespread now in our country, especially. And for here, I would like to, when I was training, it is a recent case, I'll just, share with you. I was training a few kids and I was demonstrating them that what are the events in the championship. And I was demonstrating them the event of deck of cards, memorizing a deck of cards. And I saw a parent crying. And I was shocked that why is she crying? So I asked her that what happened, ma'am? Something happened. What did we disturb you somehow? And she was like, no, I today realized that, I'm not meant for, only taking care of the kids or only taking care of the house. If I want, the world is, infinite for me. I can also step out of my house and make a difference in my own life, make a name for myself, make my own identity. And that is what I saw in you. And now I also want to do the same. And she actually enrolled for the championship course and she wanted to make a big difference in her life. And she said that now I understood that I am not limited by these boundaries. The world is infinite in front of me and I have to reach to those places. So yes, I think a women can inspire the other. That is,
Right,
live
right.
examples are always the best.
Yes.
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 So I would really love all the women of India to come forward. They have impeccable memory. One
Yes.
who can manage the house so efficiently, who knows which drawer has what, which cabinet has what,
Yeah.
has definitely a very good memory. And
Yes.
all they need to do is hone it or practice and put it into practice. That is it.
Yeah. And if you can manage the manage home, if you can manage the whole show alone, so you definitely can manage maybe competitions also, events also,
Yes,
and
of
you
course.
can even go for different events also. Yes, female is the main power behind all the men, but then female or women are not coming out and they're not expressing themselves. So once
Yeah,
they
they
are
feel it
doing,
is a male dominated territory and they might not be able to step into it or make progress into it, which
yes,
is a myth which needs to be broken. They need
right.
to come out. Yes.
Yes, yes, great. Thank you for your those thoughts. So, how difficult it is being a parent to manage both memory championships and regular studies of a child, because you only have to take care of their studies also, and you have to manage yourself, your championship, your events. So, how do you do that? What is your formula?
My first formula, I have a very supportive family. My
Yes.
husband, he takes care of the kids as good as, like, in the championship time when the world championship was suddenly announced and I hardly had a month to prepare. He took over all the responsibilities of the home and I was left free to, practice and work on myself and train myself, etc. And my kids are also very supportive. The 1 month which I could not give them attention, they were okay with it. They managed their work on their own. They managed everything on their own. So yeah, a supportive family is the first thing you need.
Right.
Secondly, it is not that difficult. 1 hour everybody can take out from their schedules. It is
Yes.
not really difficult.
Yes.
So taking out that 1 hour, do not think of other responsibilities. They will always be there.
Yes.
You cannot run away from them. But
Right.
that 1 hour on yourself is something you owe to yourself. That is
Yes.
something you should do for yourself, each of
Right.
us.
Yes.
So please do it. Do not think of other responsibilities. Go ahead. The world is yours.
Yeah,
Work on
and
yourself.
actually, if you're doing it for 2 months or 3 months, or you can do it for maybe whole year. 1 hour,
Yeah.
if you take it, so 52 hours only you are taking, maybe
Yeah,
52
right.
multiplied by 7.
Whatever.
So
But yeah,
that
it's
is what
not
you are
that
actually
difficult.
doing.
Yeah,
Right.
but that is not that difficult. On a daily average, we spend so much time, scrolling those reels or
Right.
on Instagram, on Facebook, in front of the television, over phone. 1 hour you can take out for yourself also.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you can see that difference or bring or make that difference in your life also by taking that 1 hour.
True.
Yes.
And it inspires your kids also. Kids
Right.
are not what you tell them to do. They do what they see you doing.
Right.
So when they see you working so hard, they see you achieving things. My kids were more happier than me when I was receiving those awards. They were at
Yes.
on the stage with me, cheering me. They were so proud of me. So that
Right.
feeling of pride, it is such heartwarming that, I can make a difference in my kids' lives. My kids see up, look up to me, I am
Yes.
inspiring them. So
Yeah,
everybody
I've
feels
seen
the
that
same.
image. I've seen that
Yeah.
whole scene where he was taking
Yes.
photos. He was jumping with joy. Yes.
Yeah, so it is always so good to see that your family is proud of you.
Right.
Everybody around is happy with you. So it is
Yes.
like a more inspiring. It gives you a boost.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. And you would be maybe a proud parent also, that they are doing good in their life.
I am truly, yes. They are adopting all this so beautifully. I'm really a proud parent. I do not have to spend much time with them. They do it on their own and they're doing a wonderful job. Rather, everything which I do, they try to adopt. Like reading is my, like a daily routine for me. I love reading. And I see that in my kids. My son reads almost one book every day. He has a habit of reading seeing me. Yeah, so he's a very small kid. He's a 7-year-old kid, but yet he loves reading. Whatever book he gets, if he does not get any book, he tries to read my books. He tries to read his brother's books. He tries to read anything that is available.
Right.
So that is, he's also developing that as a habit. So I like, doing things which inspire them. Yes, of course.
Yes, great. So this brings me to the one final question. You are teaching students with a concept called musical windows. You were talking about musical windows. So what is musical windows and how fast your students learn with this concept? Like you will be learning it, but then is it an easier concept which student can learn, and how they are going to make use of it? Yes.
Okay, so musical window, this technique was developed in 1979 by Mr. Vikrant and Shafikar. As I said, we call him Vikrant Dada out of love. That is what he loves being called. And he actually developed this technique on the Indian musical system, the 7 notes of musical system, Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Dha Ni. And it is such an honor to, say that an Indian developed an Indian system. We can spread our culture, our heritage everywhere. And this technique, I have gone through most of the techniques which the memory athletes use in competitions, like I have gone through Ben Pridmore's technique also. I've gone through the POA system, major system also. I've gone through all those techniques.
Okay.
And after studying all those techniques, I feel there is no more accurate, flexible, and more expandable system than musical windows, because you know, in like POA system or all, you're all restricted to 3 columns which people use. This is person, object, and action. Mostly these are the 3 columns people use.
Right.
Musical windows is expandable up to a man-made place, a natural place, a female name, a female object, a male name, a male object, and an action, which are 7 columns. So it comes out to 770 objects in your list. And using these columns, you can learn, like, even if you use 5 of these columns, as I said, entire binary row is covered. 10 numbers are covered in the number. So you can, you know, practice at a much faster rate. And there can be no mistake, because you know, if this is the name, it only belongs to the 3 column or the female name column. If this is the object, it only belongs to this column. So your order never changes. So you're very accurate in your recalling. If your recalling is perfect, you cannot make mistake. It will always be accurate. And the students whom I have trained also have adopted this very beautifully, because there is a logic behind it. Since it comes through the 7 source, and there is a definite, you know, technique that why this letter is only taken for this number. And that is why you never go wrong with these judgments. You know, you can never take a different letter on this number. That number itself will immediately give that picture of that number, you know, letter to you, because it is based on the Indian musical system totally. So it's a very beautiful system. Kids are doing wonderful with it. And if mastered completely, I am sure they can, you know, beat anybody in the world. Yes. I am also in the process of mastering it now, because I'm not that old in the field of memory, hardly 6 to 7 months. But yes, once I master it, I'm sure the scope will increase for me. Yes.
Okay. So this actually has made me to ask you this: how people can be trained by this musical windows, and where they can find you to get trained by this method.
I can give my number, that is it. And I do train students on musical windows specifically, because earlier I was a practitioner in this field when I had learned from Amritsar, and then I went on to become a trainer. But Vikrant Dada saw a lot of potential in me, and he taught me the entire system to its most advanced level. And he certified me as a master trainer, which is the highest level in this learning of musical windows. And I have trained quite a few people. I train trainers also for this. So yes, anybody can reach out to me. I'll share my number with you, and you can also put it on the site. Yes. And it will be, I mean, it is a very easy to learn system, and it can be learned in, say, 2 days maximum. You can learn it. But to master it, you will have to practice it regularly. That is the only thing. Yes.
So you need to practice to learn anything. So that's
Yes, you need to practice it. Even if you take the POA system of major system also, you need to remember those objects. You need to practice it regularly. The same works here, but this has a very defined logic behind it. So it's a very logical method and well-adapted method. And just for your knowledge, this was actually developed for the blind people. Dada wanted to do something for the visually impaired people. They identify sounds. They cannot see or visualize objects. So that is why it was based totally on phonetic system. It works totally on phonetic system, and it has those musical sounds on it. So even a visually impaired person can use this technique completely and attempt any event which you want through this.
Good, great. So I'll definitely like to know about this, and I'll take your number. I'll share it with my viewers, listeners, and so that they can go through it and they can connect with you and learn this.
What better than spreading an Indian system to the world? Yes, something an Indian has developed.
Yes. So thank you very much, Ms Meghna, coming on this show, sharing your wisdom with my viewers and listeners. Definitely you are going to inspire a lot of moms first and ladies later on, and then maybe a lot of memory aspirants, and definitely students, because they they have a lot of stress in their studies. So this is my feeling. What is your feeling? If you want to share one last.
I would like to thank you for taking this initiative to, you know, reach out to more number of people through your channel. People can listen to other athletes. They might get inspired. They might, you know, get to learn something from us also. Yes, you are doing a noble job of spreading it as much as possible. The sport needs awareness. That is, it is lacking awareness in our country, and this is the only way to spread this awareness. Yes, because digital media or social media is something people look up to these days. So it's a wonderful platform that you have created, and I wish you all the best in your endeavor. And I'll be waiting for the Madhya Pradesh Championship soon. So hope it comes up soon.
It will be maybe in this year only, maybe this year end. I'm planning, and we'll definitely meet there. Yes.
Any help, we are always there. Please let us know.
Yeah. I need a lot of support for that.
I'll always be there, please. And it was great talking to you. Thank you for having me on board. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.